What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, per usual, we're going to go over the expected moves for the week for the stock market. I'll throw in my 2 cents on there. We won't go the deep dive. That will actually be on Don Fran's show, which I do go live. Actually, as this comes out, I should be live. So we'll go over the IWM, QQQ, SPY. You can see Tesla right here already. We're expecting a $58 move. And I've actually looked around quite a few, and I've noticed we're pricing in a smaller week this week, which is interesting because we do have some big names, like, for instance, Tesla, Netflix, American Express. They all have earnings this week. So when we finally have some big, and a couple other banks as well, we kind of have some, I don't want to say market-moving events, but some things that carry some weight have earnings. So when I hear that, and then I see we're pricing in a smaller week, it kind of makes me curious, like, are we going 2 standard deviations right off the bat, or is it going to be one of those earnings where people are just popping bottles after hours, and then the next morning they got that bad hangover because the earnings they like to gamble on shot up, but next morning it was down, or vice versa. You know, essentially making the whole thing a dud, like a dream for anybody playing Iron Condors on the event, or selling options on both sides. So we'll jump into it. We'll chart them all out. But just right now, real quick, what are you thinking for this week? You bullish? You bearish? We had quite the bullish run. We had the Fed announcements last week with a little bit of bull run after it. There's a zone that just hasn't been broken yet, and it's interesting. All right, IWM 498, QQQ 886. Yeah, see, all these are smaller. SPY 884, and we're usually like the past couple weeks have been like 950-ish, 960-ish. Past 3 weeks actually. So interesting to see that. Let's get that out of here. All right. Okay, so last week we did have the little announcement real quick, and so last week was monthly options earning. There's a lot of like, let's just let it all expire, worthless kind of tinfoil hat going on. If you're new to me and how I trade, actually, it's borderline a little tinfoil hat-ish, like, but it's just, you know, how things work. There's got to be an excuse. Your little brains would pop. So there's got to be an excuse to move this money up and down and all around. Thank you. I had to have my assistant bring me my. This is a medical drink. Haven't had a Monster in a while. Oh, they're amazing. Anyway. Where are we going? Just like that, I get distracted. Okay, last week we had the announcement. I've been watching this zone. I changed it to red just to kind of switch it up, not make it a bright yellow. The story going on, lower highs. It was monthly contracts last week, so I kind of figured we would dud out, and you'll see we actually kept it right inside the expected moves. Last week, though, we did break this zone. I was anticipating a little bit earlier back here, like, actually it was one of these. This particular one right here, we kind of made that lower high. We came back down, thinking, no, this isn't looking good. Nonetheless, we did actually make it all the way to that zone. Came back down. We cracked it this time. How I explained it to my mentorship group was, like, if you were on a pond, a lake, frozen, you think you're fine, but then you hear that noise. That's your warning shot. Hey, start to tread lightly. Things could be just fine. Could just be the crack that starts to web out and destroy you. Nonetheless, what we're watching right here is buy orders. If there was if there's an order to buy 1 million right here, a couple 100,000 filled, another couple 100,000 filled, another couple 100,000 filled. We're 600 in. Here's a little bit more. Here is the last little bit. So we finally get the 1 million filled, and then there's maybe another order for, let's say we had just to put it easy. I know this is more of a lesson kind of thing. Let's say we got an order to buy 1 million shares here, and an order to buy 100,000 here. Okay, so 200 out of the 1 million, 100,000 out of 800,000, his order's still here. Some more fill, his order's still here. Some more fill, his order's still here. Fills, finally his whole order's filled, so that is now gone. We hop down and grab this. His order fills, so maybe it's all the way filled, maybe 50,000 of the 100 filled, just keep it simple. It filled, it's gone. There are now no more buyers there. Now, it bought up, the rest kind of did its own thing, either trend players, just any kind of momentum, any low volume stuff can push it this way. But if we start to test this again, as we're just seeing the sellers come in, we have not seen the buyers make that higher high. On a smaller time frame, you have bigger time frame, we're talking about waves, leg up, leg down, leg up, leg down. We're seeing lower highs. So it'll be interesting to see this week if what we're going to talk about on Don Franz Show is, do we get to this zone? What happens? What happens to breakout? What happens if we hit this red zone again? So if you're curious in that price action talk, do check out Don Franz Show. It is live, so there's quite a bit more questions in there, which is what I encourage from people. I like talking to you guys. Whole reason we're here. So let's chart this out real quick. IWM, we are pricing in 498. See how we got below, reined it back in. Again, out here, it's where volatility happens, and all it did was just show that off for you. So 498. All right, go to the 22nd. Let's make that blue. Oh, also, one more call to action. There's a rumor Graham Stephan did a video about someone that I call a scam. In my mentorship group, they asked me to join others. Like, hey, join this. Let me know how it is. Is it legit or not? And, you know, if I ever found a legit one, I would promote it. So far, they've all been scams. It's been pretty funny, though. It really is kind of funny to watch. We did, what was the last one? Ended up getting sued, shut down. The teacher, you know, he's, everyone's rich. Gosh, what's his name? 007, 00, James, is it James Bond? Jim Bond? Man, I forgot the guy's name. Anyway, hilarious. Just blatant fraud. SEC did get involved. They are shut down. He's got a new one now. Called something else. Something Bullseye Trades. Bullseye. Oh, man. Anyway, the other guy was Nor Trade, something like that. It was so much of a scam, I even just said no. It's not even worth my time. Like, the advertising wasn't really, like, nothing about it was realistic. The only people that believe that guy, you got to be in your teens and just not very smart with your money. Anyway, I guess Graham did a video about him, or vice versa, one or two. Someone sent me a video saying I need to do a live reaction. Is that what this channel needs to be? Do I need to add more of those? The Wall Street Bets one was actually kind of funny. That was entertaining. So we're even pricing in, let's see, one more. All right, volatility, reined it back in. Well, it jumped out, reined it back in. The only bullish play I took right here, though, once we did get down here, I did sell some 370 SPY puts. They expired just fine. One second. Man, I'm really curious how this week pans out. I gotta say, my thoughts going into next week, and if we're, well, just in general, I have a feeling we're not going to announce 2 negative quarters of GDP. There's not going to be an actual recession. You know, we'll skate by just fine. You know, not recession. So they'll lead it whatever they want. And I'm telling you guys right now, if we do see that scenario, I think that's worst case scenario. Really, if we don't announce the recession and the like the rip your band-aid off event, we're gonna chop around. We got midterms coming up. They can say, "Oh, we got it under control. We're not under a recession." They think maybe that looks good for them on headlines. That'll be much worse, especially for you guys in the stock market. So that might be a whole. For me, what I'm preparing to do in a market like that is probably really perfect selling options. I do it a lot right now, but what I go after is, I call it children's allowance, because it is I go wide. I'm out there. You know, I just not a huge fan of chasing premium when I'm selling options. I don't want to manage it. I'd rather just tie up some capital I wasn't using. I'd rather my capital, and this is how I have my funds, by the way. Savings accounts are pointless to me. I have it all in my trading account, and I would just take that money. I would use that money. I wouldn't buy anything. I would just tie it up to sell options. Worst case scenario, I do get assigned. You know, there's obviously risk there, but I'm hearing there's quite a few other YouTubers out there. They like selling options, but they're going more for the premium chasing. The downside to selling options is, I I don't know how you mess this one up. There is, if you play the numbers game right, you know, you just don't, like look right here. I turned my options bot off, so that's why there's no numbers right here. For this very exact reason. You know, we're getting outside. These are losing. My bot is built off of market efficiency. We're not efficient right now, so it is turned off. But look at this. Like, I have so many more winners compared to my losers. When the losers pop up, they're big. And if you go selling options, chasing that premium, all you're doing is you're grabbing a couple extra bucks, but you're just increasing your chances dramatically of taking out a big old red win just out of nowhere, just getting slammed. And I'm hearing quite a few other YouTubers that do that are red deep. So that's probably, if you guys do have my course already, there's going to be some more options videos coming out. Just along the lines of how I do that, what I look for. Right now, I do a lot of just basic, but I'm going to add quite a bit more. If you're interested in that, that is the teachable links. It's literally the first link in the description. Some people say they can't see it. It's there. I've double-checked it. If you get that, mentorship is all in it. So that does come with a private chat in my streams every night. Also, talk to me in there. Definitely don't just sit there and be quiet. If you're interested in that, check all that out. You do have to have Discord, though. So, unless I know any app developers that want to put that all in an app for me, that would be sweet. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here, guys. We're pricing in a smaller week. Right now, I'll tell you what. Right now, I gotta get to the Don Fran show. Overall, I think we still see more downside. I can't fight this trend to the upside, so that's more on the future side and intraday swings. I do still have August puts in SPY. I'm just dead set on not being wrong on that one. But in case I am, make sure you know how to manage your own risk, your own trades. You do your own thing. Ultimately, that's what I'm going to do. And just come on here and talk about it. So in a couple weeks, we'll be talking about how I was right or how I was wrong. Either way. I'll see you guys in the next video.